There is something I really want to do, but it's extremely weather dependent. I need a very windy day, but a really beautiful day. I want to do some kite landboarding.
Which is something I've never done. I don't think Robin's ever done. This is a whole new sort of extreme sports in New Zealand we're trying out, so I'm really excited to do this. Last night, Robin got a phone call, maybe around 8 o'clock, saying, okay, the weather report has just changed. Low tide is going to be around 10 a.m. in the morning. The weather looks like it's going to be nice and sunny. There's a northwesterly wind of 13 knots, which is ideal for some kite sports. If we're going to do this really weather dependent sport, then at 10 a.m. with the Wind Warrior company, that is when we have to do this.
I am so pumped. I am ecstatic right now. I just can't wait to get started and fly through the air above the beach.
We did a little bit of a school session over there. He sat us down, explained us how everything works, and he had a little diagram of how the wind is working with the wing. And he shows us the kite that we're going to be kiting.
So once the theory is done, we are going to the beach. And that's not me making those noises.
Look at it. I don't think I've seen a dog that excited in my life.
And Snoop Dogg, oh yeah, because this dog, the Staffordshire Bull Terrier, is called Snoop Dogg because he is fly, he is bashizzle manizzle, is gradually making more and more noise. He is trying to contain his excitement, but it is not working for him.
So we have the perfect spot that Glenn picked for us to teach us kite surfing just before we head off all along the beach. We hop off the truck and Glenn is getting one kite out. It's going to be one kite for the two of us for the lesson so we can watch each other and learn from each other's mistake. So the first thing that we're going to be doing is trying just to play around a little bit with the kite and get a feeling on how do we get traction with the kite.
We are just flying the kite and all of a sudden we can just feel how oh my god, this kite is so powerful. And the way to get more power is just to do a figure of 8, just like whoosh. And then when it goes back, that is when it's going to get the most power. And yeah, it's just really amazing, these kites. This is extreme kite flying, and damn, I wish this was the kite I had when I was a kid, not my shitty little Barbie one that just fell into electric fences all the time. This is the kite I want.
Practice a little bit. There is actually much more traction than what I thought it would be, so it's quite interesting to feel that. It's very easy to maneuver, and yeah, it's pulling me a little bit off my feet a few times, so I'm moving forward, and yeah, it's actually pretty cool.
Even the smallest motion on your wrists to do a figure of 8 or whatever, that has so much movement at the kite. So really, all the control is up to you. You just have to learn how to master the wind.
So once we practice this, Glenn is putting us on the kite, and we just have to do a little bit of a semicircle to basically get in motion, and then turn and stop, basically. So if we face the sea, we stop. So it's not a rule, it's just where the wind happens to be today. So we're getting a little bit of a feel with it. Both of us kind of trip a couple of times. It's a lot of things to manage to make it work, but it's really cool to, just this feeling of basically paddling in the air and mastering the forces of the wind. It's hard to describe how cool that is.
Like any board sports, you need to know how to first control your speed, and secondly, you need to know how to stop, just in case you're shitting yourself, or just in case you're about to crash into something or someone. It's good to know how to stop. First couple attempts for myself, It feels like I'm learning to walk again. I feel so clumsy, I'm falling over straight away. It's just like a completely odd feeling. I'm just falling over all the time. You know, that's not a good look. I'm a bit ashamed, to be honest, but what can you do? It's quite funny. I'm just falling over every 2 seconds. Steadily, I get a hang of it. Let's just go. Let's just go for it, get some speed and go kite landboarding.
She actually starts catching quite a lot of speed. She's maneuvering her way to get a little bit of speed, and then she can stop in a comfortable position and get a little bit of traction. Aside from her bum sticking out so much, she seems like a professional. It looks pretty cool. Glenn, which is a real professional, is praising Laura's skills quite a lot.
Admittedly, in the first 2 minutes I do fall over, but I fall over gracefully, you know. I see things are going wrong. I just think, oh, I'm just gonna slide on my ass. I'm back on the board and I'm just cruising for ages, and even getting the confidence to pick up like a little bit more speed, give myself a little bit more power and just cruise along. Yeah, it's a really awesome feeling. It's so different from other board sports because obviously you've got to concentrate on what your kite is doing, concentrate on what your hands are doing, but also you're controlling the direction you're going with your feet, obviously on the board. Yeah, there's so much to sort of think about, but then once you've mastered one section, you can let your mind go and concentrate more on something else. And yeah, it's a really cool sport. After also Robin has mastered his landboarding skills, he's a bit better at stopping than me. He picks it up pretty quickly.
Glenn strapped a safety wristband onto me and get me to get a hold of the kite. And he's kind of teaching me a little bit how that will work. So I'm going left and right and doing a bit of a figure 8 right here to kind of see how things work and where is the power. I'm starting to manage it pretty properly. I kind of have to do a bit more motion than Laura has to do because I need to get some traction going on right here. That's a bit more challenging because I'm literally dancing on that board, you know, constantly instead of kind of, you know, stopping in a smooth motion and just like keep going with that. So I constantly have to kind of being in motion, which starts working pretty well. So I start getting some speed, I start getting a little bit more confident, and then the driftwood happens. We arrive in a section of the beach which has a lot of driftwood, and I have to both manage the kite, stay on my feet, and also avoid a bit the driftwood by maneuvering it a bit like a skateboard. So that starts to become a little challenging.
My falling over doesn't seem so bad when we're just cruising along behind Robin and all of a sudden he falls over in the most dramatic way. I'm getting closer with the camera and he just stacks it. I don't know what happens, why he does that, but it's a good feeling to know like, ah yes, I'm not that shit.
Flying a kite like that and getting it to track you makes you see the invisible force of the wind, and it's really cool. I kind of slowly falling in love with that sport right here. This is really something that I wish I could be doing every day.
Out of the whole length of the day, we travel for about 10 kilometers. You know, it's quite a lot for a beginner landboarder. So yeah, it's really fun.
We're heading back to Palmerstone North, where we're going to spend another night into the beautiful railway hotel backpackers. And before tomorrow, exploring Palmerstone North in depth. We have a really full-on program for tomorrow. You will know everything you need to know about Palmerstone North.
I'm looking for some meantime. Have you seen any?